Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Kasa podcast. Today, we're going to dive right into some amazing conversation about applying to graduate education and some of the job market overlook for graduates of these programs. And then we're also going to talk about gaming. But before we do that, I'm going to introduce you to a very special guest. Today, I have a very amazing guest in. He is Dr. David Sobek. He's my advisor, my mentor, and probably one of my favorite people on the planet. He's going to help us to build winning grad school application packets. We're going to ask him so many questions about the graduate school application process and how we can stand out as candidates or applicants and secure funding for ourselves and get into grad school. David, how you doing?
Good. How you doing? That's a lot to do, but we can do
it. Yeah, it's a lot to do. It's a lot of stuff to cover. So we're going to fire the questions as fast as we can. So first of all, just give us a brief introduction. They know you. Everybody here would know you're my advisor and my mentor, but what do you say about yourself?
Well, I've been doing this for a long time. I got my PhD in 2003, been at LSU since 2004.
Man.
This is my second stint as director of graduate studies. So I've probably been director of graduate studies on and off for about 10, 11 years at least.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a long time to have to deal with graduate students, that's for sure.
But it gets easy when you have to deal with graduate students like me, right? It gets pretty easy.
Sure. Sure. Yes.
I can say that I feel good about myself, can I?
Yes, you can say that.
So today, I think the conversation is going to be around the people who are trying to come into grad school, trying to get into grad school. What are some of the things we need to do to stand out? For a lot of us, I would use myself as an example. When I was putting together my application, I didn't know what was important. I didn't know what to emphasize on or what to actually get into. So my first question would be, the entire packet they ask us to provide, what is that one thing we should never overlook?
Having every part of the packet together, because all of it is going to. So, well, first off, let's talk in terms of what is typically in a grad school application, right? So you have the transcripts, you have the scores, so GRE scores, TOEFL scores. You have letters of recommendations, and oftentimes you will have a writing sample. And so the process of evaluation is generally a holistic thing, right? And so I wouldn't say there is sort of one thing that is necessarily significantly more important than the other, but it sort of depends, right? And so one of the first things that you're going to be looking at would be GPA and standardized test scores.
Okay.
Right, but it's not as if. So, for instance, let's just say a university requires your verbals to be above a certain threshold, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that if it's below that threshold that you're automatically rejected, right?
Okay.
But what happens then is if you see that, then you go look at other parts of the application to see if you can account for that, right? So if your verbal scores are low, then you go look at the letters of recommendation and see if they say something about, oh, you know what, they were really sick when they took that, or they struggle with standardized test. So you sort of try to. Generally, it's sort of a balancing of seeing, if the one part of the application is strong or weak, what do the other parts of the application say about that?
That's interesting. So I think for most applicants, we're trying to figure out which one is the best. Should I focus on my transcripts? Should I focus on my statement of purpose? So we're probably being told that we should get a full packet together. We should make sure every part of our application packet is strong. And you mentioned something about the letters of recommendation. So can the letters of recommendation actually speak to why some of the grades or some of the things look the way they look?
Oh, yeah. A lot of times that happens a lot, right? So, but mainly it is, so some students, when they start school, they might not be as focused. And so early in their education, their grades are pretty low. And then something clicks their junior, senior year, and then they really sort of kick it up a notch, right? But then their overall GPA tends to be low. And then a lot of times we'll see a professor write a letter that says, hey, they weren't really focused in the freshman, sophomore years, but then they sort of came around. And I can speak that, what their grades are in the second half of their education is much more indicative of what they are than their first, right? And so a lot of times those those letters are important in terms of giving context to the numbers. Numbers being the GPA and the GRE.
Okay. That's interesting because I did not know that. And I think a lot of applicants don't pay attention to the letters of recommendation. We just go to a professor and like, can you write me a letter of recommendation? And we just go to bed, right? But it looks like it can actually help explain the numbers on the other side.
Oh, and I'll say, don't ever ask a professor if they can write you a letter of recommendation, because the answer is always going to be yes. I can always write a letter of recommendation. It doesn't have to be a good one.
Okay.
So
what should we do?
Can you write me a strong recommendation or a positive letter of recommendation? Right? Because there are students who I've had, mainly undergrad, who got a B- in my class, and they're like, "Hey, can you write me a letter of recommendation?" Sure, I can. Right? But it's not going to be sort of a a stellar one. And so the answer to "Can you write me a letter of recommendation" is generally going to be yes. But what you want is a letter of recommendation that can speak to you and speak positively about you as a student.
That's interesting. So now, not only are we learning that we should pay attention to the entire process, but even with the letters of recommendation, we should actually ask for strong or positive ones. Because I know my application packet, I just went and be like, hey, can you write me one? And normally, like you said, they'll be like, yeah. Sometimes I think for most people in Ghana, they would probably relate. The professor is like, okay, what do you want me to say? So you actually tell them what and sometimes we're just like, we don't know because we've not actually done it ourselves, right? So now we're going to have to go and ask for strong recommendation letters. Actually have to. Okay, that's interesting. So aside the recommendation, and this is a question I got asked today to come ask you. Is the GRE really important? Is it a big part of the process?
Yes, GREs are important. But like I said, it's not definitive, right? Because this is why we ask for GREs, we ask for transcripts, we ask for letter of recommendation, because not everyone is equally good at everything, and not everyone. Because what we're looking to see is, can you come here and be successful, right? And the GREs measure part of potential. Right, but it also is. But sometimes some people are just good at standardized testing. Some people are bad at standardized testing, right? And so, just because you have a really high GRE does not mean that you have a higher potential than someone who had a lower one. It could be that you do. It could also be that you're just good at standardized tests, right?
Okay.
And so that's why. So yes, they're important. And obviously, the higher the better. But it is not necessarily, a good evaluation process understands that. GREs are not a perfect measure of potential, right? Just as transcripts aren't a perfect measure of potential, or writing sample is not a perfect measure of potential, right? We're operating in an environment of low information, right? So what is there? There's that analogy of a blindfolded person grabbing the tail of an elephant.
Yeah,
thinks that this thing is one thing, and someone grabbing the trunk thinks it's something else. And that's sort of what we are. Right. So why there's all these different parts of the application, which is so we can get a more holistic and a better view of a student's potential.
Okay, that's wonderful. I think for some of the questions that are coming through the chat, I would address them. But if you're watching the live stream, please, if you have any questions, leave them in the chat below. We'd address some of them live, and then I would come back in and give answers to the questions you would ask in chat. So if you're joining us, we're talking about the application process for grad school, how to be a successful applicant, the things to look out for. And we've already learned that one of the best things you can do for your packet is to make sure you look at everything holistically, look at everything in its entirety. And like Dr. Sobek just mentioned, every part of it gives an idea of what kind of student you are and whether or not you're going to be successful in the program. And another question, this came in chat, so I just put it up and then we can look at it. Should one wait until you get your results for a class before requesting for a letter of recommendation from the professor?
As a rule of thumb, probably, right? But if it's a class that you sort of know, though, this is a class that is an upper level class, and you know that you're doing well in the class, and you and the professor are clicking, and you have a good relationship, then it's not, I would never say never, but generally you want to, I'll put it this way, you want to have a good sense about what the professor is going to say.
Okay.
Right. And generally a good measure that's going to be the grade you get in the class. But it's not the only measure, right? So what I say is make sure you you have a good sense of what the professor thinks about you and your potential before you ask for the letter, before you get the letter from them.
Okay. That's wonderful. Guys, if you're in the live stream, please leave your questions in the comment section. We're going to bring them up and address them. So I think Christine got her answer. Dr. Sobek is saying, hey, it's a good indicator of what he's going to say, right? If you flunk in the class and you're going to ask for a letter of recommendation, it's not going to be a really strong one, I presume. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and share the feed so that other people can join the conversation. We want to get to know what you think. Dr. Sobek, we talked about the standardized testing and everything. People were like, due to COVID, a lot of departments are getting more relaxed on that, right? And so how important was it as part of the process? Like if they could let it go. I know one of my friends was talking to me earlier today. If it was one of the things they could let go, then how important was it in the overall process?
Well, there is an ongoing debate at universities about the sort of importance of standardized tests, right? And one view is that they are not a perfect measure of a student's potential, and they're not, right? Therefore, we don't need them anymore, right? And there are some departments now in universities probably that are no longer requiring GRE scores, right? I would say, well, number one, we're not going to drop the requirement here. We did during COVID because students just couldn't take it, and you have to. But it's sort of like I said, this is from my perspective, it's a low information environment, and when you have a lot of uncertainty, more information is better than less information, right? And so if you remove the GREs, right, then now more emphasis is placed on your transcript, more emphasis is placed on the letters, and transcripts aren't a perfect indicator of your potential either, and neither are letters of recommendations. And so essentially by removing the GRE scores, you now are putting more emphasis on other measures that are just as equally imperfect as the GRE scores, right? So my advice would be to take them and to do as best as you can, because the more ways you can demonstrate your potential, the better. Okay. And if you think about it this way too, you're competing against other students, and maybe you're competing against someone who did the GREs, right? And so you think about this, right? So think of two students who have basically identical applications, right? Except one has GRE scores, one doesn't. Who are you going to lean towards accepting, right? The one where you have more information, right? And so it's sort of, sometimes you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. Information wise in terms of the application.
That's true. Okay, so now I would encourage everyone, hey, just take it. It's more information for the committee to make a decision on. And I think for a lot of people coming in, right, the application process gets tedious when you get asked things like statement of purpose. For a lot of applicants, we don't actually know what the committee is looking at. What does a good statement of purpose look like? What really goes into that?
I'll give you a secret, and we can't share it. No one who's not on the live stream can share this. And so this has to be our little secret.
It stays on here. It stays on the live stream.
It has to stay here, because I don't want everyone using this. But really good statements of purposes are ones in which they make actual mentions of faculty in the department, right? So if you read a statement of purpose, and generally it's sort of like, hey, I'm interested in X, Y, and Z, and the really good ones say, and this actually works well with so-and-so's research agenda, right? Because what that signals to us is that you care about the department, you're interested in the department, and you've done homework, right? And a student who is willing to do homework and extra effort in their application is probably going to do homework and extra effort when they're in the program. So being able to say, this whose research my interest dovetails with, right? That is a really strong indicator in a statement of purpose. Makes it, I think, a very strong statement of purpose. But keep it here. Keep it here.
Yep, we're keeping it here. It's for only the people in the live stream. This is just gold. My brain's you just blew my mind. I would never have thought about that. And for those of you here now, the 28 lucky people who are on the live stream right now, it's just gold. We're keeping it in here. We're never telling anyone else. And if you didn't hear it, just go back and watch the playback. I am not going to share it. I'm not even going to clip this and put this anywhere. I promise. It's really good. It's really good. Guess what? for most of the people watching, they wouldn't get this, but Dr. Sobek, look who just commented.
Oh my goodness gracious. Doc Neptune.
Doc Neptune is on, and guys, later in the conversation, you're going to know why this matters. Doc Neptune, we're so happy you're on the live stream. We're going to be talking some more about our side business, our side gig after this. But yeah, now we've gotten through the. Let's talk about the transcripts a little more, because there's so many questions about the transcripts. Universities have very different ways of presenting these transcripts, right? Some of them are not even in English, right? And the strength of the curriculums are different, right? So I could go to a university with a fairly easy program and get, a 4.0. Then I can go somewhere else with a more rigorous program and get, say, a 65 on a 100-point scale. Would you recommend that we standardize our transcripts, which is what some people do, where they pay for a service that standardizes their transcript and then brings it to a 4-point scale instead of a 100-point scale like my university does? Is this something that would help our application?
I think it helps, right? I mean, because what we don't know how every university around the world sort of, scales, right? And so the more the better. A lot of times, though, in the transcripts, they have a little sort of information sheet that allows, but even that's not perfect, right? I don't know how well the university. So yeah, I mean, those things would help, I'm sure.
Okay. So I made a promise before the show that anybody who was going to be in the show at a particular time was going to get that standardization process paid for. Apparently it cost $250. And a couple of my friends and I decided we're going to take care of it for one lucky viewer. So if you're on here right now and you need your transcript standardized, just leave standardize in the chat box right now. Standardize and just where you're watching the stream from. So standardize Ghana, standardize US, standardize wherever you're watching it from right now. Just the quickest finger, the first person to send it in gets their transcript standardized, and it will help your application process, because just as we just had, it's going to be a very key part in the process. It really helps out, right? Okay, so we're getting a few standardized. Then Kwame, you're not part. Kwame is here. I'm going to put it there. He is not part. And so, yeah, please, if you need to get your transcript standardized, just leave standardized and where you're watching the stream from, and then share, hit the thumbs up button, and then we're good to go. Let's do it right now. And apparently it helps. So, Dr. Sobek, we're talking about the do's and the things we have to do as applicants. What are some of the things you say are absolute do nots in the application process?
Do not. I mean, I guess it's hard. Do not skip out parts of it. Do not. Do not have. I think the biggest thing is it's those things you don't have under control. I'm trying to think of things that have really sort of sank applications. Obviously, really bad GPA or GREs. I mean, but that's sort of. But this is where I said before. Make sure you ask about the letter writers if they can write good letters, because there's been a couple scenarios in which letter writers can write positively, but they can also send strong signals, and that sort of raise red flags. So, for instance, you can have a letter writer say something like, "I recommend that this student would require a lot of effort to get through the program," right? Or stuff like they work hard, or there's phrases in which that can raise red flags. Which is why I think it's really important to make sure when you get letter writers, you have a good sense of what they're going to say.
Right. So absolutely, one of the absolute do nots are just leaving the letter writers on their own. You have to, one, make sure they're writing positive letters for you, and two, like, they don't put anything in there that would send signals to the committee that this student might be a little more work than you'd want to handle, right? But guys, that statement of purpose key is very important. If you missed it, watch this feed again. We're going to post the video much later. Go back and watch that. It's going to change your application process, right? And I want us to wrap up the application process and look at another part of the graduate stuff, right? And so with the application packet, one, complete the application and all of that. What have you seen about an application that made it standard? Like, aside the all the basic checking all the boxes, what's one thing or what's one memorable applicant you've seen aside mine? Because I
No, yeah.
worked up
Well,
in the
aside from
office.
yours, oh my goodness, I have yours hanging up in my office.
Yeah, I think we should have taken a picture of that day.
Yeah,
I'll share the story someday on the live stream.
yeah. So the question is, but I think honestly, there is no one thing, right? I mean, it is. I've seen applicants that are just, they're standardized, and so their numbers are just super strong, right? So great GREs, great GPA, right? There have been some in which, the letters recommendations are just absolutely, hands above the rest, and there are some that are just, students who are really clear, had done their homework, and just, really thought hard about how they fit in the department, and so there's no, I don't think there is really one thing that would just sort of, hey, it really varies in some sense.
Okay, I think we've gotten enough with the application process. I hope the viewers have gotten enough to be able to now better apply to grad school. Like, if nothing at all, that SOP trick should put you in a good position, right, to be able to apply and get secure funding. Now, for those of us in grad school, right, I want you to give us a little overview. I took your professionalization class. It probably is something I would recommend everybody take. If you can get Dr. Sobek on for professionalization, is important. You should take it. But give a brief overview of the job market for graduate students, like why people should think of grad school and what awaits them at the end of grad school.
So what I mean, in some sense, it depends upon what the student wants. And so there's the academic job market, there's the non-academic job market. And just keep in mind that when you go into a PhD program, most of the time it's geared towards the academic job market. This is not to say that, grad students don't ever get non-academic jobs. They do, right? But this is think about it this way. Most of the people in the department probably never got a real job, right? They got an academic job. And so what kind of job market do they know? They're going to know the academic job market. And so it's, most of these programs are going to be geared towards getting you an academic job. And really in terms of that, you need to make sure that you set yourself out to succeed, which would be not only doing the program well, doing on the program, but also research. That this is what is, in terms of the academic job market, is going to get you the most looks. Even if you want to go to a teaching university, right? Applicants that have more research is going to get a stronger look than those that don't. It doesn't guarantee anything, right? But and this ends up being one of the key points to think about when you're starting grad school, which is you can go through and hit all of the requirements of a PhD program, right? Take all the classes, do the comprehensive exams, write the dissertation, and yet set yourself up for failure, right? Because those are the bare minimum things that are required to get you the PhD, but those aren't the bare minimum of things that are required to get you a job.
Okay.
Right. So there's two different standards. There's the standard that will get you the PhD, and there's a standard that will actually make you competitive on the job market. And the standard of being competitive on the job market is a lot higher than the standard to get the PhD. And so when you're in grad school, we make sure you have that second standard in mind as opposed to the first one. Because obviously, if you reach the second standard, you're going to get your PhD.
Okay, so now you gave us a trick for the application process. What's the best trick for surviving grad school and making yourself competitive on the job market?
Well, those are two different questions. Surviving grad school and making yourself competitive. In terms of making yourself competitive on the job market, you need to have strong relationship with faculty. Now, this is assuming that you have the publications and the research, right? But when you're applying to the job market, letters of recommendations are really important.
Mm.
Because when you're hiring, when you're hiring an applicant, right? You're hiring someone's to do research, but you're also hiring a colleague. And so it's a different sort of process. We're not just hiring someone to sit in their office and to do research. I mean, we are, but there's also someone that we're going to have lunch with, that we're going to serve on committees with. We're going to do all these different things with. And so you want to make sure that it's someone who's going to be a good colleague.
Okay.
And the letters are the only things that can speak to that. Right? They can speak your CV can speak to your publications, right? Your what is it called? The class evaluations can speak to you as a teacher, right? Or you can write a teaching philosophy, but nothing can really speak to how you are as a colleague.
Okay.
Other than those letters
of recommendations.
That's interesting. And that's an important part of the process as well.
Okay. So now we've gotten what we need to be successful in our job search, and the next step. Now, how do we survive grad school? Your best advice to surviving grad school?
You need to find a way to turn your mind off. That this is academics in general, right? But this is being in grad school is something where you can get burnt out really quickly. And because you could always be doing work. Right? So it's not as if you're working at the post office where you go there and you have an 8-hour shift, and when you go home, you don't have to deliver mail anymore, right? And you can just do whatever, right?
Yeah.
You can go to the office for 8 hours and come home and be like, I could be doing a reading, right? You could be going to bed at 2:00 in the morning and thinking like, I could be doing this, right? So it's very easy to sort of always be, not necessarily always working, but always stressing over working or not working. And that is something that is going to create a lot of stress over time, and it can burn you out. And so finding something that can turn off the thought process of of grad school, right? Allow you to sort of reset and refresh becomes absolutely vital. That's trick number one. Trick number two is, for your dissertation, do something you love, a topic that you have an undying interest.
Okay.
Because you're going to get really bored of it otherwise. In fact, even if it's something you really love,
you do get bored.
You're going to, anything you do for 8 hours a day or whatever for 2 years, you're going to get sick of it for a while.
Yep.
And if you're just doing it because you think, this would be a good topic for the job market, or this would be you're going to get, you're going to end up hating it, right? So it has to be something, so in the dark days of the dissertating, whenever you're just sick of it, that undying interest in the topic is what gets you through.
Keeps you going.
And so make sure you have a passion for their topic, your research.
These are just wonderful advice that would help. I mean, you told me, I just didn't listen.
I
picked a topic.
Doc here has a question. In terms of applying for jobs, how much does involvement in things outside your research classes play? Again, sometimes it depends upon the job, right? So I would say, I guess in terms of things outside of research class, and so say for instance you're presenting at academic conferences or research conferences. Those things can matter, not necessarily in the job application, right? But those are, when you're doing that, you're putting your name out there, right? And so you're going to meet people who are researching similar topic, right?
Okay.
And so if I'm going to a academic conference and I'm presenting my research on the causes of war, right? I'm going to be interacting with people who also are interested in the causes of war, who are at universities across the country, across the world, and I can find collaborators that way. I can find, sometimes you can find letter writers, right? So if you meet someone here, like at a conference, and you hit it off, and you communicate afterwards, and then maybe I think I met somebody at a conference, and we hit it off. And then when I was in grad school, they emailed me and said, "Hey, I'm writing a paper. Do you want to write with me?" So I got a paper out of it. And then he ended up being some of my letter writers, right? And so it's sort of, and that sends a really strong signal, right? If you can get a letter writer, or if you're collaborating with people outside of your university, man, that says great potential. It means that you're really engaged in the community already.
Okay. That's important. I think that's a key trick. But you did mention something, and I want to use that as a segue into our second part of the conversation. Guys, we've talked about applying for grad school, we've talked about the job market and getting ourselves ready. We just even talked about being successful in grad school. Applying to grad school is just half the story, to be honest. That the story doesn't even begin when you get into grad school. The real work hits when you're a couple of years into your grad program. But you did mention our ability to turn our minds off, right?
Mhm.
And you talked about that, and I realized one of the things you do, and I'm going to let you guys in on a secret for those of you watching the feed. He's a professor by day and a game streamer by night. He's a top Twitch streamer by night.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so now we're going to get into no, he is a top Twitch streamer by night.
By top, you
Right?
mean one viewer?
No, like 600 viewers a night, guys.
Yeah, right.
I just put his Twitch handle in the box, the bubble box beneath his image. You can follow him on Twitch, and we're going to get into how he turns his mind off. And when I came to grad school, when I started my PhD program, he roped me in, and now I'm a champion Twitch streamer, guys. You should catch me on Twitch. Dr. Sobek, I know you do a lot of video gaming. Is your controller around you? Because mine is
Oh,
right
I do not
here.
have it. It's in the other
Mine
room.
is right here.
Okay,
And I know you do a lot of video gaming, so we're going to dive into a little more streaming and some of the things you do to take your mind off all this busy research stuff. Guys, before we get into the conversation, I'm going to show you one thing. He plays Fortnite. Just take a look at this clip.
That's one of my better shots, for sure. I like that. That
Man,
felt good.
for those of you who are not into video gaming and all these things, you might not know how amazing what he did is. But those of you who are into Fortnite, we're going to dive into some Fortnite conversation. And like I said, professor by day, a streamer by night. You should catch some of his streams. He is just people are just wowed by the skill. So how did you get into gaming, and how does that really help?
Well, I always played video games growing up. I mean, I grew up in the 80s, which I know I'm ancient. And this was the start of video games. So I played Atari, was big into Nintendo when it came out. And then, but then sort of and through grad school too, I, had video games, but then sort of with the Fortnite thing, I guess Fortnite really blew up, 4 years ago, something like that?
Yeah, about 4 years ago.
And I remember my oldest daughter came home one day and talked about this Fortnite thing. And I'm like, she's like, I want to play. Everyone's playing. And I'm like, okay. And so she was in bed one night. And so I went on the PlayStation 4, which I hadn't really played a lot recently. Mainly it was on the computer games. And I downloaded it and created the account and for her. And then we started playing together. And then, of course, I got addicted to it. And so, so it ended up being just for her, ended up being for both of us. And then I took over the account, and then she had to get her own separate account.
And get her own console.
She plays on the Nintendo Switch.
Switch. Yeah, she had to get her own Switch, and then your younger daughter also had to get her own Switch. And then we started forming these winning teams. Like, guys, we could not lose. Like, whenever we play together, the four of us, and I have another clip from a few days ago when we played together. And
is this where I saved you?
You're giving it away. But guys, watch what happened. I am knocked. I'm just going to let you guys.
Oh, what the?
Oh, look, there he is. He's down. That's that red mark. And here comes the person who killed him. Bad move, dude.
Oh my god, that was just crazy. Like, this guy comes in my box. I think I was under pressure the whole game, and so he just kept shooting at me, and he knocked me. And then my professor comes in and just one pumps him in the head. Like, again, we win a lot. You should watch us. People are saying you seem very cool. He is cool. He plays video games. I think I've helped him get more victory royales than anybody else.
I don't know about that.
Hey guys, you should definitely follow him on Twitch. He's a professor by day, a streamer by night. He has some wonderful clips on Twitch. Like, there's this clip on Twitch. If anybody finds it, just copy the link and post it in the chat below, and I would send something your way. I'd send some gear your way. It's probably the best snipe you'd ever see in video gaming. I have a few more clips. We're going to talk a little more about Fortnite, but in terms of how it helped you in grad school, and it's going to help some of us in grad school, personally, it's helped me in grad school. It helps me take my mind off things. Aside just that, why did you decide to get into streaming?
I guess it's sort of one of those things in which it's something else. I don't want to say it's not something else to do, right? But it is. I guess I'm just sort of the type of person. Yeah, that's right, Doc. Just the type of person who I like different challenges. I like doing different things. And it's sort of. I'm going to tie this a little bit back to actually the grad school stuff, and that there's different ways of doing research too, right? So there are some people who their research, they focus on one thing their entire career, right? I want to focus on alliance formation, and then everything they do is alliance formation, and they're the alliance formation person, right? You looked at my research, it's not that, right? I looked at civil war, looked at terrorism, looked at international war, looking at now cryptocurrency. I mean, so it's sort of my interests are just broad, and it's sort of, is I think this is just part and parcel of that, right? Which is, I love my research, I love my job, my day job, but it's also, I guess the bad way to put it, I'm like a cat with a laser pointer, right? And you're chasing things all over the place. But it's also just one of those things that I see something, it grabs my interest, and I just wanted to go do it and do the best that I can.
Interesting. I think it helps. I mean, now you're a full-time streamer, and I'm sure you're making a lot of money.
Oh yeah. What did I say yesterday? I made a grand total of $1.25 on ads.
On ads, I mean, that's ads soon. You're gonna blow up, and soon. Since I'm gonna be on the streams a lot, we should work out a deal. Again, guys. Whenever he plays, this never happens to me, but whenever he plays, weird stuff like this happens where people make a lot of bad decisions around him. Let's just look at this clip.
Oh yeah, this guy is trying to attack me. Not quite. There we go.
That is the worst way. That is the worst possible way to get into this thing, where you get on a zip line and try to go at someone you're trying to attack. And for those of you who are not into Fortnite, like, guys, you should get some way to take a break. And for me, it's Fortnite and FIFA. I know a lot of the people watching would be more into FIFA, and I've invited Dr. Sobek so many times to FIFA, he just can't play. He's not good to play me, so he runs. He runs. He plays games like Fortnite, and it really helps. It's really helpful in terms of sort of getting your mind off your research and grad school, because you get burnt out easily, like Dr. Sobek mentioned. And we'll do one last clip. And again, follow him on Twitch, watch his live streams, and people are talking about movies too. People are talking about Marvel movies and how it helps. And I saw this tweet that I really wanted to bring up, this chat I wanted to bring up. Someone said the professor seems cool. I'm going to tell you guys, he is the coolest professor you'd ever meet. I think I've told you this before. My students obviously have heard it so many times, and people close to me. I told you, if I end up being half the professor you are, I would consider my academic career a success. I think if I'm half as cool as you, I would consider myself.
Maybe raise your goals a little bit higher than
that. No. This is high enough. This is high enough for me. If I'm as cool a dad and as cool as a professor as you, and treat my grad students the way you treat me, I think I'd have made it in life. That's all I aim for.
I aim a little higher, I'll say. That's all.
No, you're just being modest at this point, but you really are a cool professor. And I have one last cool clip for you guys. But again, follow him on Twitch. We're going to do a lot more collabs. Maybe one of these days on the Kasa podcast, we're going to be live streaming on your Twitch. We're going to get a lot of our viewers in. Those of you who can join us in the live stream, just have some fun. But this was a wild one.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, it's pink because we're in the storm. The storm kills you slowly over time.
And this is massive, and these are all from the most recent season of Fortnite. And if you're looking to get into Fortnite, guys, we're always going to be on. He is EMDC 111, like it says over there, and mine is Icelaw 90. I'm going to drop it in the chat, and like I'm saying, just join us. Let's do things to take our mind off all this stuff, all the stuff we have going. And people are saying you should encourage your kids to play video games if they want to, because like you never know.
Yeah.
They could be professors streaming Fortnite or FIFA or any other video game, right? And making tons of money from that. Like my professor is, he makes twice as way his salary as a as a streamer as than he makes as a professor. So think of streaming, think of getting into these live stream things. But it's been a wonderful conversation. It's been amazing. A lot of people are coming in. A lot of people are coming in with all the fire emojis. But any last words you have for us? It's been wonderful talking to you guys. If you have any questions you have, this is the last time you can put it in. Oh, people are saying they are going to start joining the Fortnite train too.
Absolutely, more the merrier.
The more the merrier. Yeah, we're going to create a Kasa team, right?
That's right.
People who join, we're just going to jump on and get into it. But Dr. Sobek, any last words for us as you've helped us prepare these wonderful application packets? You've helped us deal with grad school and the job market. And now you've given us tools to help us de-stress, turn our minds off. I think Fortnite video games helps you turn your mind off. Not FIFA though. If you play online, your mind is always on end. 5-year-olds in China keep beating you, and you're like, "Oh, I'm getting beat by a 5-year-old." But it also helps. It also helps. I'm sure a 2-year-old in Ghana keeps kicking my ass behind.
Careful there.
Kicking my behind. But yeah, it's wonderful. So any last words you have for us while we wrap up this segment of the show?
I would just say find the thing you're passionate about and go with it, and don't put yourself any false boundaries, right? Whether that is, you know, you're all young, right? And even I'm not young, but but obviously it's sort of, you have to find things that you really enjoy doing, because that's what makes life fun. No, that's sort of how you get through it, is finding those passions and diving into them and doing the best that you can with them. So that's what I would say.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for spending time with the Kasa podcast. We'd always love to have you on, and we'd always love to hop on your live stream too. So please invite us. I'm sure a lot of people from the live stream are going to hop on your Twitch immediately, watch a few of your clips, and then try and get into your lobbies.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll try and get into your lobbies and try to play with you. But again, he's a professor by day, a Twitch streamer by night, and a cool person all year round. An amazing, wonderful person all year round. You're just so amazing to us. And we here at the Kasa podcast really appreciate you spending time to come and give us all these neat tricks to help us build these killer applications.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. So now we're going to bring on our usual tribe, right? The tribe is coming back on. D is in the building. D, we bore you past. D, we bore you past. We bore you past.
Please,
D
take it
gave
easy.
us some Salala predictions this week.
Kwadwo,
D gave us some Salala predictions,
do
and
that.
we've not been able to recover. Our betting slips are
There
all
were some
destroyed.
wins. Come on, there were some wins. Please,
Okay,
don't do that.
so guys, we're back with the tribe, and we're back with D and Nag. Nag, how you doing? Nag. Nag, how you doing?
I'm good, brother, and you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. I can see you in your Black Star jersey. Before Dr. Sobek leaves, Dr. Sobek, I have one last question for you.
Sure.
So the African Cup of Nations is going on at the moment, and that's why I brought you the Black Star shirt.
Okay.
When are you going to wear your Black Star shirt and send us a picture of it? We here at the Kasa podcast need it.
Okay, I will do that sometime this week, and I'll let you know. I'll send it to you.
Okay. So when is the next Ghana game? I think it's going to be in a few days.
It's on Tuesday.
It's on Tuesday. So can
Yeah.
you send us the picture on Tuesday so we can post on our social media with you and
Absolutely.
your Ghana shirt?
Yeah, I'll do that.
You'll be supporting the Black Stars all the way. We're
That's
not doing
right.
so well. We're not doing so well. But
Okay, well, I guess maybe I'll be the good luck that turns it around.
please send us a picture of you in your Ghana shirt and maybe bring some luck to Ghana because we lost our first game even though D predicted we're going to win, and we drew our second game even though she didn't make any predictions. So
Yeah.
please
Well,
us some
okay.
good luck.
Put it down here. Write it down here.
Uh-huh.
You're winning Tuesday.
You see?
Okay,
I'm calling
guys, listen. Dr. Sobek just gave a prediction. Ghana is winning on Tuesday against Comoros. We're playing
Absolutely.
the Comoros, and
As if there was any doubt.
so
I'm with you
listen,
on this one.
everybody is talking about how you're bringing all the good luck. So you had it here first. Dr. Sobek said we're winning on Tuesday. Do you want to stick your neck out and give us a score line?
Yeah, because I know predicting the victory is not sticking my head out. So I'm going to say 2-1.
2-1.
Oh.
Guys, you had it here first. Ghana wins 2-1 on Tuesday. 2-1 on Tuesday. Put that down. You can take your betting slips right now and go bet 2-1 for Ghana. Listen, this is going to be gold. And you're going to see a picture of him in a Black Star shirt on Tuesday. I promise you that is going to be up on our social media feed. You should just follow us on all our social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. Dr. Sobek in his Black Star shirt written for Ghana is going to be wonderful. He said 2-1, and listen, if we score 2-1, we're going to give him 100 follows on Twitch.
Yeah.
The Kasa podcast is going to promise 100 follows on Twitch. So you guys could start following right now. It's EMDC1111. EMDC1111. I don't even want to say how people have been pronouncing this, but guys, you can
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
you can guess. Okay, so thank you so much, Dr. Sobek, for the wonderful episode and the predictions. And if it comes true, everybody on the Kasa podcast is coming straight to your Twitch. We're watching you live stream every night.
All right.
All right. Have a good one, sir.
You too.
All right, D. So now you've been helped. You've been helped a bit. Dr. Sobek has come.
But guys, I'm
He's
really
taking
sorry.
some
I'm
of the
seeing
heat.
some of the comments come through from Nanek here.
Yes. You
And then
really have
Christopher.
been
I'm
really
really
have been
sorry.
killing people.
You
Let
know
me
what?
pull up the games and then would get your prediction for the final round, which is
Sure.
where a lot of us actually need the predictions, because you said Egypt was going to beat Nigeria and then they went and lost.
You know,
You
soccer
said-
is a game. Anything can happen. So,
Hey, you knew this and you were there giving a
but this time around, come on, guys.
okay. So
We
we're
are
going to do
winning.
match day 3.
Mhm.
D,
Yes.
you come up on the spot. We are going to put you on the spot right now.
Okay.
Guys, we're taking D's predictions. This is time with D. D is going to predict the third round of AFCON games. We all know how she did in the first round, but she's our D. We can never leave her, so we're going to let her do it again. D, the
Yeah.
third round of AFCON matches. We have
Sure.
Burkina Faso versus Ethiopia.
Ethiopia is winning.
Ethiopia is winning, guys.
Yeah.
Ethiopia is beating Burkina Faso. Okay. Cape Verde versus Cameroon.
Cameroon is winning for sure.
Cameroon is winning. Host nation. All right. Malawi versus Senegal.
Senegal is winning.
Senegal is beating Malawi. Zimbabwe versus Guinea.
This is going to be a hard one. I think Guinea will win.
Guinea wins
Not draw.
against Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Okay. Gabon versus Morocco. This is important to the Black Stars. D. Gabon versus Morocco.
Morocco is winning this time.
Morocco is
Gabon
winning. That would
can't
be good
win.
for the Black Stars.
Yes.
That would be good for the Black
Yes.
Stars, to be honest.
Mina, thank you.
Ghana versus Comoros. The Comoros.
Oh, of course. Ghana is winning. I'm with Doc on this one.
Hey.
Yeah.
D, are you also going to predict a score line?
Yeah, funny enough, I was thinking about 2-1 all through next match on our next
2-1.
match. And
You
he
were thinking
mentioned it.
2-1.
2-1.
Nag, what do you think?
This time around, I think we need more goals to be qualified. You understand me? So I can't. We will score 3.
We'll score
3
3.
down. 3-0.
3-0?
3-0.
Okay, 3-0.
3-0.
Okay. So everybody is predicting a 3-goal game. So if you're going to stick, it's over 2 goals, right? It's over 2 goals. All right, D, let's complete the round of
Sure,
matches.
sure.
So Guinea-Bissau versus Nigeria. Nigeria is
winning.
Nigeria's won 2 games.
Yeah,
Nigeria's
they are
on
doing
fire.
so well.
They're doing really well. Egypt versus Sudan.
Egypt is winning.
Egypt is winning. Okay.
Yeah.
Sierra Leone versus Equatorial Guinea.
This would be a draw.
A draw for Sierra Leone and Equatorial Guinea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ivory Coast versus Algeria.
This is also going to be very difficult. I think Algeria will win.
Algeria wins.
Yeah.
Okay. Gambia versus Tunisia.
Tunisia is winning.
Tunisia beats Gambia. Mali versus Mauritania.
Mauritania is winning.
Again, Mali versus Mauritania.
Mauritania is winning.
Okay, guys, you heard it here first. D has predicted the third round of games. D, do you want to see how you did on the first round of games?
Yeah. Let's
Okay.
see it.
So you predicted Cape Verde and Ethiopia. You said Cape Verde was going to win. They did win. Senegal versus Zimbabwe. You said Senegal would win. They did win. Guinea versus Malawi. You said Guinea would win. Guinea did win, which is good. So you have 3 out of 3 so far.
Right.
Morocco versus Ghana. You said Ghana would win, and Ghana lost. And so you got 3-1. Gabon versus Comoros. You said Gabon was winning and Aubameyang wasn't scoring. Gabon did win. Aubameyang did not score. So you got 2 out of 2 on that one.
You see?
Algeria versus Sierra Leone. You said Algeria was winning. That ended in a draw.
Okay.
Egypt versus Nigeria. You said Egypt was winning. Nigeria won. Guinea-Bissau versus Sudan. You did predict a draw, and it ended as a draw.
The Oracle has spoken.
Mali versus Tunisia. You said Tunisia was winning and Mali won. So you've lost 2.
Yeah.
Gambia versus Mauritania. I don't remember. I think you said it was going to be a draw. Gambia won, but Gambia won. And then the Ivory Coast versus Equatorial Guinea. Ivory Coast won. So you got so many of them right. You only got like 2 wrong. And so it looks like the Oracle is doing pretty well.
Yes,
I think you're doing pretty well.
So Kusuba, please, you have to trust me.
Precious. She says you should trust her. I think the only one, the reason why people don't want to take your predictions to heart anymore is because you said the Black Stars were going to win. And people were so mad because the Black Stars did not win.
But
we can forgive that. No, we can forgive 90%. That. Yeah, because I did say if you didn't predict for the flag behind me, so I think I threatened you. That was under duress. You probably didn't listen to the Oracle. So we'll give you that.
We should have won. Ghana should have won. Something really happened. Yeah.
We should have. That is where I need Nag to come in. Nag, we should have won that game. We should have won the first game. Yeah. What happened, Nag? You told us our coach was right.
Yes. Do you know one thing? You when you play back my audio, the one that I said, I was like, the coach have to when he dropped that Ayu, that Ayu, I don't want to mention
which are you? Which of the Ayus?
This name I've not learned how to pronounce it.
So how can you pronounce it now?
Andrew Ayu, yeah, something like that.
Andre.
Yeah.
Ayu.
So when the coach take those Ayu brothers, when they take them out, like we will score, and the coach didn't. You understand me? The match, the fault was from that Ayu brothers, that Ayus. If the coach take them out, you know, there was a ball that he has to pass to somebody, and he didn't pass. You understand? That was
you're talking about the second game?
Yeah, no, the first game.
The first game.
But
what did you think about Andre's goal in the tournament? That was a streamer. That was a very lovely goal.
Very lovely one.
The second game, you saw he scored a good goal. You're saying he should be taken out. The guy is the only one scoring. Nobody has scored for Ghana.
That Jordan Ayu, like he feel more relaxed. You understand? He feel more relaxed. So he need to drop out from the Black Star and fix
so you
the
want
new players.
you want the day to play and then Jordan to be benched.
Jordan not to strike. Cry like he should retire. He should retire from the Black Star.
Nah, relax.
Because I'm painful. Like it enter me. You understand? It enter me. It enter me. Kojo.
I know. This Black Star, it really, I mean, it ruined my day. I was having a good day, and then the Black Stars.
Yeah.
But in our last round, now we there's still a chance to qualify. There's still a chance to qualify. Now, do you still believe the Black Stars can win it all, given what
Yeah.
we've seen? You
Me
still
always
think-
100% full support Black Star. Like they should,
Mhm.
if they drop those IUs
Mhm.
out of the game, we will score.
Mhm.
Those brothers.
I don't know why you're taking Andre out. He's the captain of the team. He's a leader. He's the
No,
one who's scoring.
No. They should take the both of them out, and you
And
see,
who-
if like they shouldn't play them at the starting first half. They should take those two brothers out and fix in different strikers and see how
like
the game.
who else is on the bench? Because I had so
Jordan,
much.
we have that number 10. I forgot the name. That number 10, and we have Samuel too. That short guy. Short.
Yeah, I think I've seen that guy. That guy is in.
He's
Genk or
very
something.
wonderful player. Yeah,
but he scored 1 goal this season, I think. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know so much about the other players. I don't know what options we have, right? But
we
all
have
I'm
so
saying-
many options.
What are okay? So given our team and the players we sent to the tournament, you think the IU brothers are the ones holding Ghana back?
Yeah. For me,
Interesting. I don't think-
that you brothers have to out, and we will score. If they take those two brothers out, even if they're supposed to play one of them, they should play. They should leave Jordan Ayew out. That's Jordan Ayew. They should leave there and play with the captain. The captain.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay, so someone
Did
just
I?
sent in the comment. Yeah, Andre has the highest goals in the African Cup of Nations for Ghana. Baby Jet Asamwejan only has 8 goals. Dede has 10 goals now. So Dede has an argument to start. But I agree with Nag. Maybe we should try something new. So I think that sentiment is being echoed all around, like in the chat. People feel the IU brothers have outlived their usefulness to the team. I personally do not agree, because even the other day I was watching the game with a friend, and I was telling her, listen, Jordan, as much as he doesn't score, he still is industrious. He works hard. He's tracking back. Sometimes he's being fouled in our own box, giving us a break. I think the guy, even in Crystal Palace, you can't fault him for hard work. He is a workaholic. I saw Kamal Dean play, right? As much skill as the guy has, he doesn't work hard. Kamal Dean doesn't track back. He doesn't do anything. I've seen the guy you're talking about. I've seen Pencil play. All these people, they just stay in their attacking half. They don't track back. And I feel that is why the day gets ahead of Jordan gets ahead of these guys. Jordan tracks back. Jordan wins the ball. Jordan is defending set pieces. Jordan is running up and down. Sometimes he's in space and he doesn't even get the ball. I think when it comes to work rate, he stands out. I don't know what you think. Do you still think the work rate is not good enough to keep him in?
No, you know something, like as a striker, you need to position yourself before you get the ball. You understand? And the way he strike around our opponent post, you understand me? It's very bad. You understand? Like he feel more relaxed, like nothing is going on. Not like the day at first, the day that I know at first. Even he's more stronger. When you cut him down, he will raise up and I mean get into the ball and take the ball and do his own thing. You understand me? The day at first, wow. Like, but now Jordan, no, Jordan.
No,
Jordan,
Nag, wouldn't you think it's just a function of getting old? When you are younger, you are more enthusiastic. You're going into tackles. You don't have enough experience. Now, the day is playing with experience. Now, the way he moves, he's playing more intelligently. The day when he was 19, obviously was running around like a headless chicken. But now the day moves with some experience. He has, that's what experience brings. His game has been lifted.
Okay.
Don't you agree?
Yeah, I agree with that at some point. Okay. Now he's getting old. He's playing with an experience. Fine. What of Jordan? You understand?
It looks
And
like
if you are getting
for you,
old,
one of the Ayu
let them
brothers
know.
should go.
No, me maintaining the day is good. You understand me? But the striker,
Gordon.
and the day sometimes selfish. You understand me? The ball that you need to pass the ball, he doesn't pass. You understand me? And that's
true.
the chance for us to score. You understand me? So I think they should bench them they should start for second half and
Second half.
75th minute.
Okay.
75th minute or 80th minute and let's try the new people. Let's try the new people. Because we have only few chance to qualify it's like 50-50. We can lose the game. When you lose the game, we are out.
We're
You
out.
understand?
Yeah,
There's no
definitely.
hope. Yeah. So why don't the coach try the new people and see how the difference is? You understand me? Because playing with that two brothers again, not the.
And so the sentiment among the audience is mixed, right? But I have two questions for you. You seem to have had so much hope in this coach. You said he's an ex-coach, he's back if he wasn't competent. But this guy waits till like 90th minute when we are losing to make substitutions. Nag, what are you saying about Milovan's substitutions?
I was shocked when it turns like that. But you know, aside him being a professional, I think as a professional, like we have some flaws. You understand? That's one of his flaws. You understand me? The reason why I appreciate him that much, like that I was saying, like he changed Jordan Ayew and fix in that number 10 and we win the match. No? Like that. That's why I noticed that this coach is very observative. You understand me? Like he observes something. You understand me? So like yeah, I feel like wow. Like by this time, I think he has. I must be honest. He has disappointed us.
He has
For
disappointed
not
you.
changing them. Yeah.
Yes, he should make the substitutions a little early. That's what we all feel. Like as a coach, after the 60th minute, if things are not working, that's an hour of play. So now you have to change things so that your substitutes can get at least 30 minutes to warm into the game and influence the game. And so for that, Nag, whenever I'm watching this man and he sits there till like 89th minute, Ghana is losing before he sends people on, I'm like, this is Nag's guy. Nag appointed this man and he's not doing the job. Nag, a few questions in the chat that I want you to pay attention to. So someone said, you said the day I knew at first. Someone is asking, do you know the day? Or does he know you?
The day when I say the day I know at first, I'm talking about the past of playing football. You understand me?
But I think the day knows you though. After your video. After your Android and you video, I think they finally got to know you.
This Android that you was trending on Twitter, and I was like, hey.
Ellie, you better stop this. Ellie, you're just going to hell for what you're just writing. This is just bad, man. All right. Okay. So I think we've addressed most of the questions in the chat, and Nag has given his take. And Nag, you still are with the Black Stars all the way. You still believe the Black Stars can win this tournament.
1,000%.
1,000%.
If only they drop them. If they drop those two brothers, or they maintain one, they maintain the day you and drop Jordan. Jordan, no. Striking, no. If only they do that. If they do that, yes, we will score.
Okay, so Nag still has faith in the Black Stars. Let me come back to D. D, do you still have faith in the Black Stars?
Yeah, I still do. But I think the coach should make changes at the right time, because I think the last match, at some point, after the day scoring on the second half, he was tired and he should have changed him on time. And I'm sure there are capable strikers on the bench as well. So if he does those timely changes, it would go a long way to help the team. So, but me, I still have faith in
in the
Ghana.
Black Stars.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful, guys. It's a good point to wrap up our episode. We have faith in our Black Stars. We believe in them. We're still going to stay supporting them. I am never going to relent on my support for the Black Stars. I'm going to support them all the way, and we're hoping that they actually bring some joy to Ghanaians. I think it's long overdue. Like, Ghana deserves some happiness. Like, we've not been happy at the AFCONs for so long.
It's been
We're
a
still
long
going to cheer our
time.
stars on, and hopefully they bring back the trophy. This has been the Kasa podcast. Today we talked about the application process and surviving grad school, doing well in grad school, which was a wonderful conversation. We're also talking about video game streaming. Nag and I are going to start streaming video games because I know Nag is going to be a good video gamer. We're going to start streaming FIFA, and anybody who wants to join the FIFA streaming band, just let us know in the comment section below. It's been wonderful. I had my advisor, my mentor, and my professor come in and walk us through some of these things. He shared a great tip with statement of purposes with us that I know everybody who joined the stream and everybody watching the video would really appreciate. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode. We really appreciate your support and you being here with us. Guys, before you leave, just leave a subscribe here, hit that notification bell so that whenever we come on, you can join, you can enjoy the conversation, you can be part of the tribe. And again, like I said, we're always going to do giveaways. There's so many giveaways coming. I think there's a Black Star jersey coming very soon. If Ghana qualifies for the next stage, we're going to give away a customized Black Star jersey, and it's going to be hidden somewhere in the videos. Douglas, I see you. I'm going to watch the stream at the end and see who came first. Douglas, I'm definitely going to let you know who got the $250 giveaway. But guys, it's been the Kasa podcast, and from us here at the tribe, it's
a bye.
Thank you so much for
Bye.
joining the stream.
Adios.